What are we talking about?
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm for you!
Can't wait.
Let's go!
Well, good morning, and welcome to the Sports Empire Network. This is another episode of Coffee and Sports in the Morning. You have a whole new crew in the morning about to break down NFL, go over all over the world of sports. But the staple to the show, to the main anchor to the show, he's better, but we call him Mo better. What's going on, Mo? How are you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning, Freddie. Good morning, Will. Jory, welcome. Let's go.
Good morning.
Let's do this thing. Good morning.
Hey, my brother, he has a new energy down there. He has a new you can just feel the energy. You can feel the excitement. You can feel everything because New Orleans back relevant a little bit. Not like with back in the day with Drew Brees, but they're a little bit relevant. My brother Will, what's going on, bro?
How you doing, man? Good to be here with you again, man. Like back in the old days. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, sir. And my sister, she don't know who a quarterback is.
I
Sometimes she
know him.
so sometimes she root for her team. Sometimes she don't.
Do my girl
Some,
like that?
they make her mad. They disappoint her. They make her go off. If you ever want to know how Joy feel, just go to her Facebook page. She let her
Oh yeah,
emotions be known. She
she
let
does.
it be known. Well,
That's
Joy,
true. That's
welcome to the
facts.
show.
Jory
Facts.
speaks facts.
Whose team
Man.
got 40 piece? Not mine.
Hey, a loss is a loss. That's the last time. That's the last time I that I know. It don't matter if you lose by 1 point. It don't matter if you lose by 2 or 40. A loss is a loss. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, the news was broken that, of course, Aaron Rodgers' Achilles was ruptured, was torn. Let's react on it. Mo, what is your reaction, sir, on Aaron Rodgers going down? Because we all know the hype, we all know the storylines, we all know what's been going on. The all off season. The Jets is supposed to make a big run to the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers is turning to the Mister Friendly. He's more teaching the young kids. He's more happy in New York. We seen him, run out with the flag in his hand. Just exciting, just exciting. What is your reaction, sir?
It's a devastating loss, not just for the Jets, but for Aaron Rodgers. His last couple of years with the Packers was very combative. Um, and so to go to an organization that was willing to do whatever, make whatever move necessary to make Aaron Rodgers feel comfortable, bring in whatever weapon he deemed worthy, they did that. The Jets went all in on Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, we can all admit, if he never plays again, one of the all-time greats, first ballot Hall of Famer. So his career, his legacy, it's there. It's already there. He can stand on it. But I think that he was going to the Jets with the notion, if I can win a title in New York, in a place where they haven't won anything since Joe Willie Namath, that would have cemented him. That would have planted him, maybe not just top five, but even further up, just because a title in New York City with the New York Jets, that's almost like two Super Bowl wins, if that ever
Mm-hmm.
happened. That's how big that would have been. So it's devastating for him on a personal and an individual level. But for the Jets, they got to recalibrate, Freddie. They started off thinking, we're not just a division contender, we're a Super Bowl contender. And now with Zach Wilson as your quarterback, the recalibration is, can we make the playoffs?
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was sick to my stomach. I was sick to my stomach on Monday watching the game. I had to work Sunday, so I couldn't watch no football. So you know what? At least I get to watch that bad man. At least I get to watch him on Monday Night Football. And 4 plays in, and I'm just like sick to my stomach. I mean, good Lord Almighty. But the New York Jets cannot be let off the hook either. First of all, I'm gonna say this before I give my comments. I'm not blaming the Jets why he torn his Achilles because he is an older player. He's almost 40 years old. When old men, when you're old, things tend to hurt. Things tend to break down. We see that in everyday life. Well, I don't yet because I'm still young, but I see people around me that is old that have problems. They have back problems. They have knee problems. They have all kind of problems. But I can imagine playing a sport at a physical level, what that could do to you. So I'm not blaming the Jets. But what I'm saying is I know that this offensive line has been a problem for a couple of years now. If anything, I'm gonna do what the Cincinnati Bengals did for Joe Burrow. I'm gonna go or the Kansas City Chiefs done for Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna beef up that offensive line. I'm gonna protect Aaron Rodgers because we've seen the first play where he ready to throw, like he had to scramble because it was like a predator going after the prey. They was coming for him. The first couple plays you seen him have to scramble because the line could not hold up. And that was a problem. But with that being said, man, I was just hurt, sick to my stomach because man, like I'm ready for like when is Laker basketball? Like when is football?
Here
Because
we
to
go.
me,
Oh,
How the
football season's
hell we
over.
go
oh,
from
you
the
poor
The-
thing.
Aaron Rodgers to the Lakers?
You
Cause
poor
to,
thing.
cause to me, football season is over. Football season is over for me. Cause I mean, my Giants they stink. And Aaron Rodgers, that was my downfall. I get to see my favorite player, but now he's done. Basketball season, where are you at? Will, give me your reaction, sir.
I do blame the Jets for the same reason you just named. That offensive line is atrocious. Particularly for pass blocking. Um, I feel for A Rod, I really, really do. But being an older player, you also have to be prepared for something that like this can happen. And you know Zach ain't the guy. You already know he ain't the guy. So now you have to go out because I don't think he's gonna finish the season. I think they're gonna go out and try to make a trade to get a quarterback that'll be a little bit more well suited. Um, all the names disgust me. Nick Foles, they'll
Mm-mm.
probably talk to him. They'll probably talk to Carson Wentz. Might try to pull a trade for James Winston with my Saints. All that makes me sick, but what choice do you have? Because they're all better options than what you currently have.
Jacoby
So
Brissett, Teddy Bridgewater.
yeah, Teddy Bridgewater's still out there. So, you got some names. They all just make me want to throw up a little bit. But at the end of the day, that offensive line should have been fixed. Um, I do feel for Aaron. Case Keenum is another name. I do feel sorry for A Rod. I hope he can come back. I feel sorry for Garrett Wilson. I thought he was gonna have a
Oh
huge
God, yeah.
season, but we have to see on that. So I
He'll
feel
have a
for
good
him.
season. He's going to have a good season no matter what. But had he had a fully healthy Aaron Rodgers, he would have been probably one of the top 3 receivers in all of
Oh
football.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He was
definitely.
going to have that big a season.
Definitely, definitely. But I would have loved to see, like you said, I'd love to see him do what he could with Brett. That defense is on point. I give the Jets props. That defense is amazing. I'll give him props on that. But that defense and that running game, until they can get a quarterback in there, is what's going to have to carry him.
All right, Jory.
Like alluding to what all three of you said, it's pretty much devastating for the Jets. It's like this kind of it reshapes the outlook of their season. Like before this, they were thinking deep playoffs, and the irrational people were thinking Super Bowl. But now they're just trying to fight to stay above 500. And the way that I look at it, yeah, y'all said it right there. The O line was trash, and they have done little to nothing to fix it. I understand if there's effort, like you're trying to move pieces around and stuff like that to fix that O line. They've done little to nothing to fix it. And you got this 38, 39-year-old quarterback who really don't like being hit in the first place. He hates being hit. Because every time he do it, he act up. But every time he gets hit, we all know what's happened. So he hates being hit. So they That was a miss. That was a miss there on the offensive line. And then when you think about it, Aaron himself said, "Don't do cut blocking because I need to get the ball out fast." If you look at the play that he got hurt on, they were doing a cut blocking scheme. So I'm like, what? He's telling you, he's advising you not to do something because he knows the O line is trash and could get him killed. And you do the exact opposite. Yeah, no, the Jets are gonna have to eat on this one because this is their fault.
Jory, I will say this though, by listening to NFL experts, they said that lineman was not at fault. But Aaron Rodgers, when you do a drop three step, that Aaron Rodgers did too much. That Aaron Rodgers should have just got the ball out of his hands. So I'm not the expert, but I'm just listening to ex NFL players. They're saying that he did too much, held on to the ball too long, tried to create something when something was not there. And because they said that the old lineman is taught to block that way. Um, so maybe Rogers should have got the ball out, and maybe he's a veteran that he should have known that. He's not like he's Zach Wilson, a young guy that's still learning and still developing. But the problem that I have, we're going to transition to the next topic. Should Zach Wilson be the starting quarterback? I don't see how you go out and get another quarterback. Zach Wilson should be the starting quarterback, y'all. They drafted this.
My only pushback to that, Freddie, and I don't mean to interrupt you. My only pushback to that, we've seen this already, and I just think it's not going to work out again. Shout out to Wilson because he got 1,000 yards last year with Zach. So
Right.
shout out to him, but I just don't think it's
Let me
going
ask
to
you a
really
question, Will.
work out with Zach.
Will, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you believe the New York Jets went out their way and put Zach Wilson in the best situation for
Oh,
him to succeed?
without a doubt, no. Without a doubt, no. But again, because of that, because you didn't give him that time to develop, sit behind a vet, you gonna put him out there like he's the second coming instead of sitting behind a vet trying to learn. No, you didn't put him in the right position.
He wasn't ready to play anyway. He wasn't ready to
No,
play anyway.
you did. You
Every
take
every
you
time
take. Go ahead.
every time he takes a snap, watch any Jets game, not just last year, but just the other night, even though they won, he's in panic mode. He looks in panic mode. What do they tell a quarterback? A cardinal sin of a quarterback is you got to have awareness, but you
Yep.
can't stare down the rush.
Right.
Zach Wilson is not looking down the field; he's looking at the rush. So his natural instinct is to panic. How many times you see this guy backing up 10, 15, 20, 20? He
Mm-hmm.
does it all the time. He's in panic mode. All I'm saying is if the Jets commit to him and say, we're going to ride with Zach Wilson no matter what, they're not going to the playoffs. Cut and
No,
dry.
no,
They're not going to
no.
the
Your
playoffs.
season
I
done.
don't,
Your
I don't
season done.
your running game is not that good. It's a good running game. But if nobody fears the pass, we're playing 8, 9
8-man
man in the
front.
box. And
Yep.
and certainly that running game is not dominant anymore.
Hold on,
Zach,
Mo.
And to
Hold
get
on,
back
Mo.
what Freddie was saying, they have not put this kid in an optimal position. You're supposed to get a vet, let your rookie learn behind that vet, and even if it takes a season or two, go ahead and do that. Get him ready before you trot him out there. Just didn't do it.
Hold on, you guys. I disagree 100% with both of you guys. And the reason why I disagree is because this kid had a whole off season. He had months to sit back, learn from Rodgers, be in the training room, be in the video room, be on the field, learning how to run this team. And let's not forget, we cannot judge Sunday on Monday night on Zach Wilson. You know why? Because the schemes was built around Rodgers. Now he's about to have a whole week where they can scheme around Zach Wilson, where the guys can prep for Zach Wilson. This guy was drafted for the number 2 pick for a reason, and they will be.
careful, Freddie.
No,
Trey
hold on,
Lance,
come on,
Trey
hold
Lance
on.
was drafted really high for a reason too.
I'm
But
about to say
Trey,
the same thing.
Careful,
Yep.
careful.
But Trey Lance is a whole different situation. But what I'm saying
I
is,
would say for all his flaws, he's as good
no,
as Zach. He's as good as Zach Wilson.
no,
Anybody
the
can go back there and be in panic mode.
Mo,
But
Mo,
I
Mo.
you
Listen,
disagree with
bro.
me. But all I'm
Yes, I
saying is,
do.
if you're a Jets fan and you came into this season, they told you what they thought of Zach Wilson.
Well,
Zach
they could.
Wilson, Zach, they told you what they thought of him. They said, "Hey, you know what? We will trade picks assets, we will go out and get a 38-year-old quarterback. That's how much we believe in you, Zach Wilson. We don't believe in you, Zach
But at the
Wilson.
end of the day, in the day, Mo, you cannot believe in somebody if you're not putting them in the best position. The Jets have not put this brother in the best position. This
Fred, he
O
wasn't
line
ready to
is
play.
atrocious. It's
He wasn't ready.
atrocious.
He wasn't ready to
He wasn't
begin
ready to
with.
Hold on,
play.
hold on, yeah. Let me prove my point. Let me prove my point. Yeah, hold on. But what I'm saying is, y'all, that this dude was a number 2 draft pick. Ready or not, you still have to give him. You gave up a draft capital. You have to see what this brother is capable of doing. Now that you have. This team is better than it was last year. You have weapons on the outside. You have this defense is legit. You have a legitimate run game. All you got to do is hope this O line can hold up for Zach Wilson. He was a number 2 draft pick, y'all. I understand what most about Trey Lance. Trey Lance, you know why he didn't work in San Francisco? Is because everybody can't play for Kyle Shanahan. It's just like Mo and Jory. You guys know this. Everybody couldn't play for the Chicago Bulls with Phil Jackson. Everybody couldn't play for the Lakers with Phil Jackson, that triangle offense. Because guess what? If you was not a smart player, if you could not understand the scheme, you was not going to fit in that offense. But what I'm saying is, why go out and trade for an older player? Why go out and go get a has been, a used up Carson Wentz? Go out and go get guys like that when you have a guy that you're young. You're not winning a Super Bowl no matter what. So might as well put him out there in the fire and see what you have and see if you can make anything out of the season. That's
Are you
all
making?
I'm saying.
You
Are
can get
you
that boy
making the?
killed.
But are you making the playoffs? Because think about what they did. We
That
started this
boy get
conversation
destroyed.
out talking about how weak the offensive line was. Right? That's not a secret. When
Mm-mm.
people were talking about the Jets were going to win 13 games or win the division, my main problem was everybody knows they have a weak offensive line. They came into the season. Aaron Rodgers knows they have a weak offensive line. It's one of their weaknesses. In terms of pass blocking, they're one of the worst. But they got Aaron Rodgers knowing with a veteran quarterback who can diagnose coverages, who can recognize normally where the pressure is coming from, he can get the ball out of his hands a lot faster than a guy like Zach Wilson who still cannot read defense, who still cannot recognize coverages. Well,
Jordan,
And
I'm
some
gonna get you.
Aaron
somebody
Rodgers got
said,
hurt.
and
Now,
Jordan,
what
somebody
are you going to
said,
do with Zach Wilson?
and
That's all I'm
somebody
saying.
said, call Tom Brady. Tom Brady ain't coming for none of that.
He sure is not. He's not
He ain't
signed up
Jordan,
for
coming for
that.
none of that.
Jory, I'm gonna get you in a minute, but Mo, oh brother, but you even though you mentioned those flaws in that offensive line, you still trying to say this kid not ready to play.
He
We're
But it's
not.
ain't.
not
He's
his
not ready
fault.
to
He
play.
It's
ain't.
not
He's
his
not ready to
fault.
play.
This organization have not put him in the right position to win football games.
But
Freddie,
at the
You
same
said
point, you
they
trotting him
got
out
better.
there,
They
and you
got
know
better
he ain't
players.
ready. You trotting him out there, you know he ain't ready. They gonna get that man killed.
So, let me ask y'all a
He ain't
question.
ready.
Let me ask y'all a question.
We'll get
Sports
destroyed.
Empire is a $1 billion company. We hope one day we put y'all on camera, but we don't put y'all in position to be successful. Who fault is that?
Maybe it's our fault for not being prepared,
No,
Yeah.
Mo,
right?
no,
Hey,
no,
Will, we should know what we're doing, right? We're trying
You
to
should
do this
know
for
what
a
we
living,
doing.
right?
You should know what we're
We
talking about.
no.
Yes,
Jory,
sir.
we're trying to do this for a living, right? So I got to believe that we're supposed to know what we're doing. We're
But
supposed to know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
I'm talking about on the quality standpoint. We not giving you equipment. We not doing this. We not doing that. We not putting y'all in the position to win. It is Empire's fault. It's the
Hold
same
on.
way with the
Hold,
Jets. The
hold.
Jets have not put this brother in position to win. So
Hold on.
I can't
You
judge
just
him
said
until they
giving
do
us
that.
equipment. When this happened?
No, I'm saying if we was a $1 billion company, if we was a billion
I'm just
dollar
kidding.
company.
Will,
Jory.
but Will, he had Brees Hall, he had Garrett Wilson last year.
Mm-hmm.
He had a top 4 defense last year. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
they won. They put together a string of wins. The reason why they weren't a very good team was literally because of the play of QB1.
Yep.
QB1 was what was holding them back.
Yep.
Okay,
Look,
Mo.
I understand that he's young. I get that. All I'm saying is Super Bowl aspirations, and now you're saying, well, let's just play the year out with him and see what happens. So we're going from Super Bowl aspirations to we might
Mo.
go
Mo.
what
The
7,
wild, he done
10,
went from Super Bowl to wild
Mo,
card.
the minute Mo,
not even a
no,
wild card if
no.
that guy's gonna be the
Hold on,
quarterback.
listen, hold on, y'all, hold on. The moment that Rodgers got hurt, their Super Bowl aspiration went out. Matter of fact, the moment he got hurt, their playoffs aspirations went out the window. That's not expectations anymore. What are we talking about?
Need to
What
put
are we
Mike White back
talking
in there.
about? That's went out the window, bro. That's like if Michael Jordan got hurt. Guess what? The Chicago Bulls' expectations wasn't winning a championship. They would pray to God to go to the playoffs. They're done. They're done. But that's why I say you got to see what this kid has in him. It's easy to say,
How
oh, the
long the
head
leash
breach.
though, Freddie? How long the
Hold on,
leash?
Mo. Hold on.
5 games, 6 games?
Hold on. It's easy to say, oh, he had Brees Hall, he had Gary Wilson, but at the end of the day, that quarterback is just as good as that offensive line. If that offensive line is
No.
trash, if that offensive line is trash,
Back to the
especially as a
Lions.
young guy, he's going to be trash. Jory, give us your reaction, please, because you've been
Let's-
sitting back patient.
Yeah, because we all know that they're going to end up sticking with Zach Wilson at this point, and good luck with that for them. So, like from the time that he's had under Aaron Rodgers, I do agree he should be a little bit better. Not much. We all know what he is. Like I got to sit. Like I was in New York on Monday, so that was yesterday. I got to sit and watch a little bit of the game somewhere, and he's still panicky. He still doesn't know what to do. He can't read like y'all said. He can't read the defense. It's gotten a little bit better, but has it really? No. So we all know what Zach Wilson is, and the whole thing is when y'all were talking about how high they drafted him is they drafted him that high because of a throw. They missed on that.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well,
They
let's
drafted
let's
him
let's not
way too
forget.
high.
Let's not forget they also drafted Sam Darnold high too. Like let's be honest. When it comes to drafting QBs, the Jets have not been good at it for decades. They are horrible at drafting quarterbacks.
And if the Jets are really gonna have to salvage, like you said, with the defense of Brees Hall, they're gonna have to win in spite of
Yep.
Zach Wilson, not
Yep.
because of him.
Yep.
At best, he can be a game manager. So
And they
I
weren't
think
going to the Super
he
Bowl anyway.
facts. He has one job this season, Freddie. Yes, you want him to develop, but his biggest job this season: do not turn the ball over.
But Mo,
Exactly.
I
Don't
think
lose games.
I think y'all misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying Zach Wilson is the answer. I'm not saying that 100% at all. I'm saying you have to do your due diligence
Oh yeah,
because you gave up a number two pick
This
for
is
this kid. For
yeah.
this kid. That's
I
all I'm
understand that
saying.
part.
I'm not saying that he is the answer. I'm saying you do your due diligence because you had to give up draft capital for this kid. And I will say, this only way this team can win is they gonna have to depend on their defense. They're gonna have to depend on their run game because I believe that they have a good run duo in Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook, and you depend on your defense. Zach Wilson do what he did on Monday night. He wasn't just elite. I mean, he made plays when he needed to make plays. He made a couple. He made a couple good throws. The 20 yarder to Allen Lazard, that was a big one. And the one that if he just throws to Garrett Wilson, his perimeter, like he made one of the craziest catches in week
Yeah,
one.
he did.
He
That's what
got
he
he
has.
got away with a
Can you
lucky
believe
one
he got him
too.
that ball?
He got away with a lucky one too. You saw that throw where he was basically on the ground and he still let it rip. He can't do that. He can't
And
do
let's
that.
not and let's not and let's put this into context. And I know some Buffalo Bill fans are going to be mad at me, but
They stink too.
they gave that game away. Josh Allen threw those 3 picks. Come on, man. You are supposed to be elite. You are supposed to be a top 10 quarterback. You got to be better than that. You got to be more accurate than that. And this would and I've said this on this show and other shows. This is the thing that makes me mad about the Bills. You have to develop a run game. Josh Allen cannot do it by himself. He has to develop a run game. And because when you get him in that mindset, it's just him, he'll start trying to make these crazy throws. Oh, I can complete this through this window. I can complete it. And you can't. Somebody's going to pick you. And you saw that 3 times on Monday night.
He's impatient.
Exactly
He
what
lacked
he
patience.
is.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on, but first I want to let all our viewers know. I see you in the chat. We appreciate you. Make sure you follow the Sports Empire Network. Thank you for tuning in. There's a lot of people want to blame the turf. The reason why Rodgers got hurt, to the point where the NFL has put out a statement about the turf in the NFL. I'm going to read this statement to you guys, and I just want your reactions to this. It says the NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howell statement on NFL field surfaces, and it reads: "Moving all stadium fields to high quality natural grass surfaces is the easiest decision the NFL can make. The players overwhelmingly prefer it, and the data is clear that grass is simply safer than artificial turf. It is an issue that have been near the top of the players' list during my team visits, and one I have raised within the NFL. While we know that there is an investment to make in this change, there is bigger cost to everyone in our business. If we keep losing our best players to unnecessary injuries, it makes no sense that stadiums can flip over to superior grass surfaces when the World Cup comes. Our soccer clubs come to visit for exhibition games in the summer, but inferior artificial surfaces are acceptable to our own for our own players. That is the worth the investment and simply needs to change now. He got hurt because he's old. He was already dealing with a calf player. What are we a calf injury? What are we talking about, y'all? Like he's old. He's not.
But
I can
it's
understand.
still but it's still a good point though, because of the fact that turf can cause injuries more than natural grass can. So it's still a good point to address. Um, but it would be an substantial investment to change that over. But I think it'd be one that'd be worth it.
Well, you're right, but I'm not going to blame the turf for Aaron Rodgers'
No,
injury.
no, 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 not but just in general, not for Aaron, but just in general.
Yeah.
Aaron should you 30 now, you 40. You need to do a better job of stretching and getting your body physically ready to play. You're already
It was
on
a
the most
fluky
violent
injury.
sport ever.
Well,
and not do too much.
Yeah.
exactly. He did too much on that play. He's already been dealing with a nagging calf injury.
Hmm.
And I mean, he's 39 years old. I mean, what? I mean, hey, the media don't want to say this, but his career's over. I do not see any way or anyhow he can get back on the football field. He's 39 years old.
I
We
hope
know
you're
how.
not right. I hope you're not right about that. Because I would hate to see A Rod go out this way.
No,
I
I
would really,
agree.
you know,
Yeah,
it's just
I
sad.
I
I
agree,
hope he don't
Will,
break it.
but we have to realize this dude is 39 years old. We know
Yeah.
how long it takes for a guy to recover from the injury to even look half of what the player is. It's hard for a young guy to come back to perform to play off this injury. This is not just a injury that you just can come back from.
Right.
The rehab is hard. The
Yep.
mental days is hard. The dog days is hard. Just imagine. And Chuck Thomas said 60 million next year. He ain't leaving. I mean, it's hard to say that. I mean, it really is because, like I said, we've seen players have this same injury and they come back to be way less than what they were before at a young
There's some
age.
exceptions, but for the most part, you're right.
You know. But Mo, what is your reaction to that statement?
So look, I understand that. Look, I agree. If you've ever played on grass or you've ever played on turf, there's a major difference. Turf doesn't give. It is a hard surface. The only benefit to a player with turf is it does make you faster. You are faster on turf, but in terms of impact and all the bang bang things that happen on a football field, turf is brutal on your body, man. It is. It just out and out is brutal on your body. And I get it. The owners in the league, they're not going to want to go to grass because do you know how much it would cost them to not just go to grass, but the maintaining of grass? That's going to cost them millions. And we're talking about a league and a group of owners. They're not known to do things that's for the better good. They're known to do things to line their own pockets. So I, I don't think Aaron Rodgers' injury is directly related to turf. I think it was a fluky injury. Like we all said, Aaron tried to anticipate the defender bearing down on him, and he tried to spin out of it. Something he probably did 100 times, maybe when he was 4 or 5 years younger. I think he spun out of it. The guy got hold of him, and it was just a fluky injury. But in general, is grass better than turf? Absolutely.
All right, Jory.
Yeah, like it's not that the turf is not the reason why Aaron Rodgers got hurt. That's if that's what they're trying to say, that's tone deaf. But the statement is actually correct. I mean, think about it. Like when you have the grass, you have dirt under it, which will give. When you have turf, it's layered with what? Rubber, and then there's something hard under it, and it doesn't give. Like I felt like on those hard rubber mats, those hurt. They hurt when you fall on them. So it's like, and if you're gonna do these things, like if you're gonna go to turf, at least try to maintain it. Like how with the weather conditions that were in New York yesterday, they should have had at least an hour of a weather delay to at least allow that field to drain. Because I know when turf gets wet and then you got to fall on it, it's about 10 times worse. So I feel like, yeah, most players are going to want to, even though it makes them a little bit slower, grass is better for their long term health and as far as preventing injuries. Now, as far as last year, like Keith said somewhere in the comments, there was a whole bunch of injuries last year because of the turf. So it is not the direct cause of Aaron Rodgers' injury, but it's a good, valid concern to bring up that maybe they should have taken better care of the field a little bit more before that game, knowing that it was raining and pouring.
You guys all make a good point. I do want to bring back the subject of we're talking about Zach Wilson. I thought of a great point. And last year, who was his offensive coordinator, you guys? Now you're bringing a guy, Nathaniel Hackett. We all know what type of head coach he is, but offensive coordinator, we know that we've seen him in Green Bay, put Aaron Rodgers in the best position. Now he get to work with this kid, and if Nathaniel Hackett, I believe this put him under a lot of pressure as well. We're going to really see the type of offensive coordinator he is. If he's legit, hey, we should see some improvements with this kid. But if he's not legit, then it's going to be a long year. I
It's like
mean,
life. Life is about making adjustments and reacting. Now Hack is in that situation. He's gonna have to adjust from going from Aaron Rodgers to a young kid, and let's see how he can handle himself.
yep. Hey, I'm just, like I said, y'all, I'm depressed. I'm upset that we're even in football season. Bring basketball season to me now.
And
But
you
It's
got
I
the
week
mean,
Lakers
one.
again. My gosh.
I'm
It's
with it.
week two.
My season's over week one. My, it was over in week one. Giants is a dumbfire. And my
Oh,
last hope was that Aaron Rodgers be that dude. I mean,
You
Jesus
still got the
Christ.
Rams. They won.
I'm not a Rams fan though.
I don't understand the Giants, y'all. How can you not go get competent receivers?
It's not even the receivers, not even the problem.
I
Will
mean,
will
It's the offensive line.
yeah,
is
the line is part of it too.
the line, like if they fix this line, the Giants would be a much better team with the receivers they have now. This is a problem that we've had for over 10 years now. That the Giants have not corrected since the last Super Bowl. And I mean, that's why a lot of people like to judge Daniel Jones. I don't, because same way with the Jets, and same way with the Jets and Zach Wilson. The Giants have not done their part by putting him in the best position. And until they put Daniel Jones in the best position, I mean, they're just going to lean on him and Saquon Barkley for every play. I'm just happy that Darren Waller just was able to survive a whole game. I was happy about that. We headed into week
And
two
get
with him.
hurt.
He
Yeah,
didn't get hurt.
Not yet.
yeah.
Um, but
Facts.
um, but yeah, it's just man, it hurts. It hurts. It really do. To see my teams just go down the way they do. I finally feel how Jory feel about her Titans. I've never been in
Um,
purgatory, but I feel like I'm in purgatory. I understand the feeling now, Jory. I really do.
Pause. Pause. This is what we're not going to do. Y'all didn't score. At least I got in the end zone at least once, even though after there was a whole bunch of field goals. Y'all didn't score at all.
A loss is a loss, my friend.
It doesn't matter. Y'all didn't score. At least I scored. So
I understand. That's how
you can get on.
purgatory teams think now. I understand. As long as we score, I got to like.
Oh,
See, now that I'm in purgatory, I have to learn these thoughts now. So thank you,
you've
teaching
been
me,
had these
teaching me.
thoughts.
You
Purgatory.
teaching me. You teaching me. As we head into week two, you guys. Hey, and I want to give.
That's
I want to give. I want to give Mo some love too, because a lot of people was down on San Francisco. We all know San Francisco was a threat in the NFC,
I'm
but
not
they
on
was
down. Who was down on San
but
Francisco?
I
well, no.
wasn't.
Listen, what I'm saying is that they traded Jimmy G. They was questioning.
Oh,
They was questioning Purdy. They're like, we all knew their defense was good enough to be one of the best teams in the NFC. And they know that Kyle Shanahan can get anything out of a quarterback outside of Trey Lance. But Purdy is the real deal, and I don't think nobody thought that they was going to beat Pittsburgh the way that they beat them. So shout out to them.
I didn't
And
even think they were going to beat them like that. Honestly, I thought they
Pittsburgh's,
were going to. I
but then
thought we were going
again,
to win, but
Kenny
I thought it was
Pickett
going to be a
would
good
have.
game.
Pittsburgh's got a lot of problems too.
Yeah.
They got
I
a bunch of problems. I don't trust Najee Harris at all. He's a plotter at the very least. Jalen Warren, I think Jalen Warren should be in there a little bit more. Deontay Johnson, he got hurt, but he reverted back to just catching passes with no touchdowns. You got to score in this league, and Kenny Pickett. I don't know if he's gonna be the guy or not for the Steelers. They just got a bunch of issues.
so let me ask y'all this question: um, Is Baker Mayfield back? Is it time to?
no.
Is it time for the hype train? Is it time for the commercials to come back? Is it time?
No, no.
I'm.
Hell no.
It was a nice win. It was a good win.
They beat the Vikings, and we all know that Kirk is a fraud. So
Not everybody,
once you
because when I
start
said
hyping
when I
him up again, he's gonna have one of these performances where he forgets that the other team is not supposed to be catching balls that he throws.
Stupid.
So
and what's up
as soon as you start hyping him up, he's gonna have one of those games.
and
So
what's up
no, let's rein it on in.
and what's up, Brandon? Thank you for tuning to the show, sure. Um,
I think that Minnesota defense has a little bit to desire too. From what happened on Sunday. Um, you know, I don't think Baker's back at all. I think once they play some better competition, you'll see the true Baker Mayfield.
and I'm gonna say this, you guys. I'm gonna ask y'all this question. We know how bad that division is. I mean, it's so bad. People have already wrote off and said the Saints was going to be win that division just
They should.
because, you know. But I mean, is it a far conclusion that the Bucks can be at least, make it interesting and challenge them? I mean, let's be honest. They have the weapons on the outside. They have their offensive line is decent. They have a defense. Um, I mean, is that a far gone conclusion?
I think
It
it is
depends
when you're
on which
putting
day.
Baker Mayfield up against that Saints defense. He's not going to look like he did in game 1, not against that Saints defense. So I look, Baker got a good win. And I think we can all agree what we know about Baker Mayfield is he is a legitimate NFL quarterback. I mean that in the sense that he obviously can play at this level. But is he a quarterback that can take your team anywhere that's relevant? He is not. He's
He's
not.
not
He,
elite.
he's a stopgap quarterback wherever he goes.
Yep, he's not elite.
Hmm. Okay.
And plus,
All
I
right.
will say this too: if the Falcons keep playing it like they played on Sunday, they gonna cause some problems. They
They're
I
gonna
gonna
cause
be
picked
some
one
them.
and
problems.
I
two.
picked them to win, and I picked the Packers to win, and they both won. I try to
They gonna
tell
cause some
people, slow
problems
down.
because Tyler Algier, he might be fool's gold in fantasy, but in real life football, he's good.
He good.
All right, Jory. As we head into week 2, what team do you feel like is an upset alert?
I don't put people on the panic button. I well, upset alert. I don't even have the schedule in front of me now. That's the thing. But as far as like, I
I
don't
have
have
a
the
game.
schedule.
I have a game. I have the
Which one?
you have the Ravens and the Bengals.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I feel
and
like that's not an upset. The Bengals should win that, even though depends on the defense, and it depends on that because with the Bengals, they're starting to have offensive line issues again, from what I'm seeing, and
No Brown being a turnstile.
yeah, that. And they already released Lyle Collins, who was hurt, which I get it, but their offensive line issues. If they don't fix that within the next week, or at least try to fix it, or try to make some type of movements or adjustments, and knowing what I saw from the Ravens, I hate giving the Ravens credit.
Me
I
too.
just want. I hate it.
Don't say
I
that
don't
name.
like them.
Hey, Jory, don't say that name. So don't say that team name so loud. Somebody will pop up in the comments. Let's say it quietly.
Let it
Quietly.
rain. Um, I'm not. I don't do. Though I don't do the purple people in Baltimore. I don't do
Thank you.
those.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I do feel like that if Lamar can play a little bit better, because he didn't play necessarily too well last week, but because of the competition that they were playing, he could have got it. They got away with it. But if Lamar plays well and that defense can get to Joe Burrow, yeah, they can. They have a valid chance to upset him.
Hey, I got I got two upsets. I believe that purple team. If they go, they have a chance to beat them because the Bengals wet the bed in week one, and if that happens, that's going to put so much pressure on that Cincinnati team, on Joe Burrow. And I want to just put the trolls to bed. Yes, Joe Burrow was worth every cent of that contract. Just because he lost don't mean he's not worth the contract. And the other upset alert I can have is the Chiefs going against the Jaguars. I believe the Jaguars is going to be real good. We already know about Sunshine. We know about Trevor Lawrence. We know about the Chiefs' flaws. And if Travis Kelsey is not able to go in week two, see a lot of people, Chiefs fans, like, oh, thank God, we got Chris Jones. We got Chris Jones. We better now. Yeah, I didn't have a Chris Jones problem week one, you guys. Yeah,
Y'all had a
that,
wide receiver problem.
y'all had a wide receiver
Mhm.
problem. You had a Kadarius Tony problem. Travis Kelsey not being out there was a problem because your defense only gave up 14 offensive points. So Chris Jones, yes, Chris Jones is going to help you. He's going to help improve the defense even more, but he was not the problem in week one. So those are my two panic modes. If anybody had to panic, had to get a little worried, those are my two teams. Will, do you have a
Oh,
team in mind? Do you see
Mhm.
anything different?
Mhm. I think the Steelers gonna start out 0-2. They got the Browns this week. Their Browns defense is playing well. They're gonna have Nick Chubb. Even Deshaun Watson had a good game. Yeah, it's on the road, but I think Amari Cooper's gonna be decent. I think Cleveland's gonna get it done, and the Steelers go 0-2.
Hey, Kyle Edwards said, "What's more likely to happen: Lamar throw a TD or Kadarius Tony making a catch?" Um, hold on. Let me
and then
let
he
me
had nerve to troll the Giants. I'm like,
let me let me
right
let me
idea,
address
wrong person.
let me address the comment in here. Ty, brother, the Chiefs should be worried. Like I said, Kelsey's only one man. You guys have no wideouts. Who is you? You're depending on a guy in the Kadarius Tony who dropped multiple balls on Monday Night Football. Multiple. We know what Travis Kelsey gonna do, but he can only do so much. And how long is he gonna be out? I'm just saying this will be the first year of Patrick Mahomes' career that he'll have a lot of pressure. Like if you talking about any NFL quarterback who's had the most sunshine, the roses, the unicorn season of career, it's Patrick Mahomes. Because you know why? He came in the league winning. He came in winning his first true start. He threw 50 touchdowns. He's been to Super Bowls, won the MVPs. But now that he don't have a Tyreek Hill, now that he don't have a Juju and all these other guys around him.
You count Juju?
But I mean, he was decent. Hey, he didn't look as bad as Kadarius Tony. He
That's
didn't sting
true.
up the joint like that.
That's true.
Um, all I'm saying is this. I mean, you can Chiefs fan call it crazy all you want. I mean, this is the same Kadarius Tony. He did the same thing in New York. So don't have high hopes for Kadarius Tony to be the savior.
Can I interrupt you for a second and say this? What the Chiefs fans need to be concerned about is Sky Moore. That's what you need to be concerned about.
Oh,
He
yeah.
he did not play well at all, and he's gonna have to get it in gear if they're gonna have a
Still
good
waiting for this kid
season.
to show up.
Yeah, he's gonna have to show up. Kadarius Tony has shown he can't be that man. MVS can do it on occasion, but he can't do it all the time. They're gonna need Sky Moore to step it up.
MVS is like more like a third option, like
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're having your higher hopes on Kadarius Tony to be your number one option,
Mm-mm.
you in trouble. Like you might as well just go ahead and do what I did with my Giants, write the season off and get ready for next year, and hopefully and pray to the good Lord that y'all can correct your issues, because that's what I've done. Um, Mo, who's on upset alert to you, brother?
I don't know about an upset alert, but I would say going into week two, if I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, I'm
Yep.
concerned. I'm concerned that we could easily start off 0 and 2. And once that kind of thing lingers into your locker room, because you can already tell there's some dysfunction within that locker room. There's a disconnect. And I can tell by the way they're calling the offense, the way they're trying to script those first plays. They're trying to control Josh Allen and make him play more in the pocket and make him throw short passes. And you can tell he doesn't have the patience to do the dink and dunk thing. That's
Mm-mm.
not that's not who he is. And it gets to him. I think they have to find a balance where yes, you got to take what the defense gives you, but at the same time, for you to get the best version of Josh Allen, because it can be a roller coaster, you have to let Josh Allen be Josh Allen. You got to let him run. I know you don't want him to run, but he actually helps your run game. He helps your run game. They average 4.9 yards a carry as a team last year, but a lot of that is largely because of Josh Allen. So I think you run the ball more, you do throw the short passing game, but you also have to balance it out and let Josh Allen be aggressive at times. If not, I can see Buffalo not just losing in week two. I can see Buffalo ended up being one of the more disappointing teams in all the NFL.
And
They
they also
never
have a
mind
lot
winning
of
the division. They might not go to the playoffs.
And they also have a lot of things working against them too. Von Miller's still out. He won't be back until what, week 5.
Right.
So they got a lot going against them. And Stephon Diggs is talking stuff. We ain't heard it yet, but he talking trash. You
Watch
should
for
have
his
get the ball to me
tantrum.
more. You should have get the ball to me more. It's not about you. It's a freaking team effort.
And where's Gabe Davis?
Yep.
Gabe Davis had like one really good season, and we haven't seen him since then. And so when you look at Buffalo, when you play them, people are sitting down on Stephon Diggs, and they're playing Davis and the other guys man to man because they can't get separation.
Mm-mm.
All right. George, so like, 'cause I was gonna bring a comment, question to her, because she's really getting on my nerves too about a topic. Um,
Huh? Give
I
me
was
two
gonna,
minutes.
yeah, I'm gonna wait on it. You go take care of your business. I'm gonna wait on it, um, because she's really getting on my nerves about a topic in the when our sports empire chat. Um, let's give our top 5 teams headed into week 2. Top 5 teams headed into week 2. I'll start it off.
Okay.
Number 1, I'm going San Francisco.
Really? Okay.
The defense legit. Hey, Purdy's legit. Hey, to me, they're the best team headed to week 2 in the NFC right now. Number 2, I'm going with the Dolphins. They don't play any defense. They don't play any defense, but you talking about throwing bombs. I mean, they got 2 of the biggest bombs in the NFL, with Waddle and Hill. Hill looks like the best receiver right now because I mean, just going off. So I'm going with the Dolphins number 2. Number 3, if I had to go with any team but number 3, who would I go?
Cowboys
I'm not going.
Eagles.
I'm not going to
or Eagles.
Cowboys.
I'm sorry. I would have had Eagles one, but
Yeah,
Eagles
I'm
number
going
3.
Eagles number 3. Even though they look like they struggled on Sunday going against New England. But still, we all know that's going to be a dogfight. Bill Belichick's going to make it physical. He's going to make them work. It's going to be tough. So, can you win in the trenches? The Eagles showed us that they can win in the trenches. Number 4, who would I go? Mm-mm-mm. Man. Now, if I go with anybody, I'm going to go. I'm trying to see who I can go with, man. Let's go. Let's give the Cleveland Browns some love.
I like
Hey,
the defense.
Yeah, a lot of people was questioning about Deshaun Watson. Even though I know it wasn't a Deshaun Watson type game, he still had a good game.
Hmm.
That defense is legit. They have a run game. So I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns. At number five, I'm gonna go with a shocker. I'm gonna
Cowboys.
go. No, I'm not going with the Cowboys. No, I'm not doing that. They played the Giants. The Giants is dog water.
Okay.
The Giants is horrible. I'm gonna go with. I mean, until we see them play a real team, the Cowboy. I'm gonna tell you, man. Cowboy fans was like, "Thank you, Jesus," on Monday night. They were like praying to the good Lord. They was happy. They was like, "Ooh." They wasn't happy that Rodgers got hurt. They were just happy that they don't have to play him, because they know Rodgers going into Jerry's world. That normally do not be a pretty thing. I'm just saying.
Well, that
Um,
offensive line, it might have been a good deal for Rodgers not to play them.
well, I disagree,
You're
because
their front seven, Freddie. You might not want to put them in your top five, but their front seven, they have one of the top five defenses all of football.
I
It's
And the
not,
agree.
not
tackling
even
is
up for
really
debate.
good too. That secondary is really good too.
Yeah, it's not even up for
I,
debate.
I agree,
Like,
Mm-mm.
Mo. I agree, Mo. But for some reason, when Aaron Rodgers is in Jerry World, he plays the best. He plays his best. He plays his best football in that stadium. We've seen it too many times. Number five, I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams. And why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Is because we all had the Rams written off. We had them all written off. We said no Cooper Cup. Yeah, they're definitely done. But they got that young kid in there. They drafted in the offseason.
Puka.
It's just good to see that um, Stafford can throw the football to somebody outside of Cooper Cup, because that has been the biggest knock on him since he's been a Ram, that he only throws the ball to Cooper Cup. I mean, then you're right. John Shucks and Green Bay didn't look bad. Just think about the
no doubt.
pressure Jordan Love had, man, coming in there. Aaron Rodgers being behind Aaron Rodgers, he didn't want you there. He was mad that they drafted you. The pressure that team had at the quarterback position for the last 30 years, and all the things that they have accomplished. And then you go in there to the biggest rivalry in football, to the Chicago Bears, who wet the bed, who was one of the biggest disappointments in the week, because we all had expectations for them. But we
I
see that
didn't.
they're still
I didn't.
they're still they're still that black cat running franchise. But yeah, that's my top five. Mo, what's your top five, sir?
So my top five would be: I go Eagles, I go Niners, I'm going Cowboys, I'm going Browns. The Browns, look, they have an identity. They've got that defense, but their identity is their physical running team with Nick Chubb.
Smash my
They don't.
football.
Right. They don't need Deshaun Watson to throw for 4,500 yards. They just need him to make timely plays with his arm or his legs and take care of the football, because the identity of that team is Nick Chubb. So on this franchise, the way they're built, the way their offense runs, the truth is Deshaun Watson is a sidekick to Nick Chubb. They need him to make plays, but the guy that's going to take them anywhere offensively is Nick Chubb.
Yep.
So I've got them. I've got them top four, and then I'm gonna. It's crazy to have a top five after week one, but if I'm going off of who looked really good, I'd have Miami at number five because right, their defense isn't elite, not right now at least, but that offense can score on anybody. If Tua is up right, guys, for this season, he's gonna win the MVP.
All right, Will, your top five teams heading into week two.
I got the 49ers. I got the Eagles. I got the Cowboys. I got the Dolphins. And I'm giving some love to the Lions.
Bro, the Cowboys should not be top three. They played against the Giants. Yeah,
I
the
get
Giants is horrible.
I
They're
get that.
horrible.
I get that, but it's not your fault on who you play. You play with who's in front of you. And your performance counts on how you win. And that was a hell of a game for the Cowboys. They won off
Who does
that. They won off defense, special teams, and running the football. Dak Prescott did nothing, and he still won 40-0.
right? Let me ask you a question, Will, or if anybody knows this. Who Dallas playing week two?
The Jets.
The Jets is taking an L. They
I don't
taking
know
an L.
about that. I don't know about that.
I do.
I
Wait a
don't.
minute.
I do.
Against Buffalo's front seven, which is solid, But Dallas's front seven is actually like levels better than Buffalo. Their
Mm-hmm.
secondary is better than Buffalo. You
Mm-hmm.
actually think you're going to get a better version of Zach Wilson?
Okay, let me ask you.
Gilmore, come on, man.
The only way that's going to be a good game, I promise you this. The only way that's remotely a competitive game is if Dak Prescott turns the ball over.
That's about that's. Are we sure that Dak
That's the only
Prescott's
way
not
it's a
going to
good
turn the
game.
ball over? Are we sure that the Cowboys' offense is going to look? Because even though they blew the Giants out, they did look kind of stagnated on the offense at times as well. So let's not just sit up and act like they just this powerhouse on offense. The Jets do play defense. They're going to be a top three defense this year as well. Let's not forget about that, and let's not forget they have a run game. I'm just saying that now they have a whole week to prepare for Zach Wilson, which they didn't have beforehand. Just saying. Jory, your top five teams headed into week two. I think you're muted.
You're muted, Jury. Jury, you're muted.
Jory,
You're muted.
Okay, okay.
There you go.
Give me the Eagles. I'm not putting the Bills in my top five because they're not top five. Um, Give me Cowboys. This is not a particular order.
now I want the order. This is top five. No, one through five. I want the order, please.
Eagles. Let's see who else looked really good. Because I don't see that. I don't think Kansas City needs to be in the top five to me
Of course, they
until they
lost.
fix that wide receiver. Eagles, Cowboys, Lions. And I had to think
Lions gonna
about
be
that.
a tough out.
Y'all have to excuse me. I'm jet lagged. I'm really jet lagged.
Lions are gonna be a tough out. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
But
like no, go ahead.
I just can't think of the other two teams I had in my top five, and I didn't write it down.
I wish my Giants would be a tough out, but oh well. But I have a question for Jory, and she's really,
Uh-oh.
it's really irking me.
Uh-oh.
It's really getting on my damn nerves. For being
Uh-oh,
honest,
Jury. Uh-oh.
you know.
And I'm ready to hear it.
So you be going off on Damian Lillard.
I'm finna mute my mic on this and listen to this.
I'm
Why are you going so hard on him? Because this
Because he's
brother,
annoying.
hold on, this brother for the last 4 or 5 years has been loyal to a franchise has not been loyal to him. But the moment he wants out, people like you have a problem with it. I just don't understand that. Like this
Because there's
brother
a
has
better way to do it.
Facts.
oh
I
just
believe.
just
I
because the way that
believe.
he did it.
I believe that when they go, unless you need to go to hell, don't go to hell. This is not one of those situations where he needed to go to hell. This is not. This is just aggravating as heck. Where now you're not going to show
Oh
up
my
because you don't want to
goodness.
get traded. How
Oh my, I gotta remember
unprofessional!
that one.
You're just trying to get me started.
I
This is
like that
not
too, Will.
Just so
I'm
disrespectful for you to say something like that.
like. And then to sit here and say, I understand that you want out, but you got to understand. He knows how these processes work. He knows. He knows
But
how.
George, you have to understand this. You have to understand this. If this was a team, they would trade your ass on the damn sideline. We've seen it happen. They don't care. They do not care. Dame Lillard has been loyal, been more than loyal to this franchise.
That's his
They have
fault.
not. No, but I mean, I can't say it's somebody's fault for their loyalty. I respect it because guess what? He could be like James Harden, put on a fat suit to get up out of there. But
I
guess
don't
what? He
like
didn't
James
do that.
Harden either.
But he didn't do that. So, did you have a problem with Anthony
Consistent.
Davis? Hold on. Did you have a problem when Anthony Davis left New Orleans?
No, because he was
So
working
you
my
didn't.
Lakers.
So you didn't. So just because he joined your team, you
That's
didn't have a
smart.
problem. So he came out and said, "I'm not playing for nobody else but the Lakers." So hey, trade. So you didn't have a problem
And
with
I
that
was
because
at a when AD did that when AD did that mentally, I thought a whole lot differently.
well,
So
you have to be consistent because at the end of the day, just because he joined your team, I have mad love for Dame Lillard. I don't have a problem with what he did or did at all because he's been in
Hold on a second
purgatory
though.
for the whole time.
But hold on one second
That's
though. Let
his
me.
choice. 'Cause he's taking contract after contract
Yes, he
after
has. He's
extension.
taking their money.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
his
about to say that.
choice.
Yeah,
But that's fine though, because he might believe that hopefully
If
one
you
day
make
that
your
they can get
choice, you just
somebody
make
there.
that choice last year to sign that
And guess what?
extension and
And
you
guess
want
what, Jory?
out.
And guess what, Jory? He made his decision. Said, you know what? It's not working. I gotta go. I gotta get somewhere to help me win.
but you
So
under
It
what?
wasn't
contract
working
though.
last year.
So
You
what's
under
wrong
you
with?
could have left
Hold on,
last year.
hold on.
You still got.
What is wrong with a player trying to put themselves in the best position? We've seen it all the time.
But if
James
you want to
Harden
put
put on a
yourself in,
fat suit and nobody says nothing.
but if you want to put yourself in the best position and get out of there, why sign a contract that ties you to
Why
that?
sign a
Exactly.
contract?
Because guess what, Will? You know why? Because guess what? You gonna do what's best
It's
for
some
you.
Carmelo Anthony stuff.
Hey,
Exactly.
no,
That's exactly what
Will,
that was.
you gonna do what you gonna do. Guess what? If there's money to get made, you gonna grab the bag and guess
But
you Dame. Hold on. You Dame Lillard. You seen all these other players, these plethora of players that have forced themselves out, that done the same thing, but now that he do it, it's a problem.
that don't mean you have to follow suit. That don't mean you have to
Exactly.
make everything public. If you
Oh,
want
just
out of a
now he
particular,
just
if
because
you
he
want to get
doing
out of a particular situation, don't sign something that ties you to that situation.
Back.
You say, look, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be a free agent. I'm not re-signing. I'll play my last year. That's how you go out with respect and going to find a different situation. You don't put
That's
your
how you go
name on
out.
a dotted line
so you
and
telling a
expect
brother. So
and
you telling a
expect the
brother,
team to
don't go
trade
get
you.
paid.
What?
What I'm saying
This is
is
Dame Lillard. He gonna get paid regardless of where he
So
goes.
you
exactly.
telling a brother, don't go get paid. Just suck it up and go
He gonna
somewhere
get
else.
paid though, Freddie.
The way it works though is if you stay with your team for so long, you get more money. If he goes to the team, he wasn't going to get all of that. So you get your money now. That's what a lot of these players are doing.
What is your end goal? Money or a championship? What's
Hey,
your end goal?
both.
Okay, but if
Both.
Dame Lillard stays in this situation right now, he's not going to get both.
Well, that's
He's
why
not.
he can get
That
the
team
money
is
first.
far. That team is far from ready from a
I
championship.
just have a problem with we don't say anything else about any other player because Jory just said that she was okay with Anthony Davis doing the same thing, saying that I'm will not play for
I
any
was
other team
16
outside
years
of the
old at the
Lakers.
time.
It don't matter
Right.
how old you was. It don't
So
matter
we
how
can
old you
see.
was. Because guess
I
what?
would say this. I had a problem with Anthony Davis' situation, and I'm a Laker fan, but I saw it coming from a mile away.
Oh
As soon
yeah.
as,
Oh
soon as he
yeah.
signed,
Yeah.
as soon as he signed with Clutch, you know what it
You
was.
knew what was
We
up.
know you know what it was. I had a problem with James Harden. I still have a problem with James Harden, but
Just like it said Portland was the only team that can offer this brother the super max. Get the bag and get traded.
right.
There's no
But
issue
the
with no
But
other.
problem
here's the
is,
deal.
no one can meet Portland's trade demand. That's the
Right.
problem.
No. That
Right.
Yes, there is. The Miami Heat has the
Oh,
trade package ready
No.
to go.
No.
you
they
don't want
don't
that. They
Problem.
don't
whatever
want that
Portland
trade. They don't
whatever
want that
Miami
trade.
has, Portland
As much as that
really
brother
don't
put
want
that
it.
team on the back, he put that team on that franchise on his back for the last 10 years. They should be
More.
willing to bend
But
over backwards for
that's
him.
not the general manager's concern. The general manager's concern is to make sure that Portland gets the best deal possible. And that
Exactly.
was the best deal.
Will, let me ask you a question. Who did they draft in this draft
Tyler
this
Hero
last
ain't
year?
all that. Yeah, I ain't, but he ain't all
Who?
that.
Let
They
me ask
drafted
you a
Scoot
question,
Henderson.
brother.
They drafted Scoot Henderson.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. The same position as this brother. So they already have in their minds that we're not building around Dame. Dame is going to be gone. They already settled that. So the
Was
longer
Dame
they
already
wait,
acting up before
hold
the
on. The
draft?
longer that they wait, there's a bigger L they're going to take on this trade.
And that's why we say he should have been traded 2
I
years
don't I
ago.
don't think they're going to take an L at all. I think that Portland's management, they're prepared to stall him out. Look, Dave tried to do something slick. For years his brand has been, I'm not like everybody else. I'm not going to championship change. I'm not going to team up with superstars. I'm loyal to the soil. I'm not going anywhere. That was his brand. He went out and got that last extension, turned around, and now not only did he want to trade, he had a specific destination where he would
And
only
he
go to.
should.
By
But
by him
no, Mo, let me ask you a question, brother.
by him
Let me
saying
ask you a
that,
question,
Freddie,
Mo. I
by
want
him
to ask you
saying
a
that,
question, Mo. You're a successful brother in this life, in this world. I look up to Mo. When I look up, I want to be just like you. You're successful. You're one of the best podcasters that I know. But at the end of the day, Mo, you're going to position yourself to be in the best position. Am I right or wrong?
sure.
So what's wrong with him doing that?
He
But
didn't,
Freddie, you missing the
Freddie, he didn't
point.
do that. He made a mistake. He got the money and then he turned around and tried to make a power move. And all I'm saying is, Portland's general manager, his main obligation is to do what's best for the franchise, not for that
Exactly.
individual who has clearly said, I don't want to be part of that franchise. The general manager is saying, if you're going to make it Miami or nothing, then Miami's going to have to give me one of those kind of deals I can't refuse. Miami has not put together a package
Tyler
that I
Hero,
would take
he ain't
for
all that. He
Damian
all right,
Lillard.
brother, but he ain't all
It's not
that.
it's not going to work.
But at the
Dame has
end,
either got to broaden his scope for where he'll go, or he's going to be a Blazer when the season starts.
But at the end of the
So
day, the
you
longer
don't
that
have a
he sits on
problem
that
with
bench, as the longer the trade package is going to diminish, the value is going to
The thing
diminish,
that you're
and
missing,
then
Freddie, but
you
the
have a
thing that you're
hold on,
missing,
Will, you have a disgruntled man in that locker room that's going to kill the vibe, that's going to kill the atmosphere on that team. So you would really So let me ask you a question: Will, would you rather get rid of a cancer in your body, or would you let that cancer grow? Which one?
hold on now, and I get you, hold on, and I
He
get
got
your
a
point on
cancer.
that, but
he
you're missing,
started that.
but
Like
you're missing the bigger picture. That's not the general manager's issue. The general manager's issue is to make sure we get the best deal back for a
Exactly.
player possible. And right now, there's no good deal out there to trade him. That's their general manager. As
Because of
far as
Dame.
as
Because
far
of
as the
Dame.
cancer goes, the coach has to deal with that. That's not on the helms of the GM.
No. Will, I asked you a question. If you have cancer in your body, are you going to let that cancer grow, or do you want it cut out?
That's fair. That's unfair.
No, that's
That's
not unfair.
unfair.
That's not
That is
unfair. No,
unfair
no.
because you looking at a human
Yeah,
life
that's
compared to a
extreme,
damn
bro.
basketball player. That's unfair.
that's
Right.
not
If I
that's
got
not
if
the
I got a
point.
guy that's on my team that's disgruntled, am I going to get rid of him? Honestly,
Yes.
in this situation, we're not talking about just Joe Average. So we're talking about a Damian Lillard. They've already got Shaden Sharp. They've already got Scoot Henderson.
Yep.
They've already got Simons on that roster. So they have young talent. What I'm saying is, I don't think those young dudes lose any sleep over if Dame's in a good mood or not. I truly believe that. And I also think Chauncey Billups is the kind of guy that will step to Dame as a man and go, until we can get you squared away,
I
until
don't
we
think
can
he
get you
will.
out of here,
I don't
I
think he
just
can.
I just need you to be a professional.
I don't
As
think he
simple as
can.
that.
I
But
don't think
look,
he can. What has
Chauncey
he
got a cash
accomplished in the
man. That
NBA
man
as
a
a coach?
champion.
what has he accomplished? He's a finals MVP. He's a champion, something Dame has never accomplished.
Exactly. That
As
man
a
a
He's
player,
never
but
champion.
as
won.
a coach, what has he accomplished, Mo? Nothing.
He's just
He just
Nothing.
started.
Has he won a
he's just
title or anything like
started.
that yet? No. Well, him and Dame are in the same boat. Dame's never played in the finals. He don't know what winning a title feels like.
But at the end of the day, the Portland, if you want to show us that you this class organization, see, one thing I'm gonna tell
But
you
you
about this. Hold on, I'm gonna say one thing too. You got to be careful. If the longest the Los Angeles Lakers have been existing, have you ever heard of a player being in a position like this? Even with Russell Westbrook, the Lakers themselves have never came out to talk bad about him. You
they
know
dealt with
why?
Kobe for a
Really?
minute when he said
Do
he
you
I
know
don't,
wanted to
I
be
don't
why?
know
traded.
about that. I think somebody in the
They
organization was
did
talking
deal with
bad about
Kobe
it.
for a minute when he said he wanted to be traded
Not with Kobe.
Because
Listen,
Chicago almost got him.
Will, what I'm talking about is that there's not too many disgruntled players that play for the Lakers. You know why? The Lakers go over and beyond for their stars. You know why? For reasons just like this. Because we look at future superstars that might want to play for us, future players that might want to put on the purple and go. In Portland, you're already
Okay,
in a
question.
destination where
So
people
hold on.
that
Portland is
don't want
not
to
I'm
an
gonna
be there.
challenge your
attractive
point.
Right.
But that's what I'm
destination.
saying,
I'm gonna
Jory.
challenge your
Hold on,
point. I'm
hold
gonna
on, Will.
challenge your
Hold on,
point,
hold on.
Freddie.
Hold on, Will. Give me 1 second. But Jory, that's what I'm saying. They're already not attractive, but you make yourself even more non-attractive by doing BS like this.
Let me ask you. Let
It's
Well,
a
me ask
whole
you a
bunch
I
of
question.
don't think
BS
I
on
don't
both
think that
sides.
nobody has clean hands in this situation. I don't think Dame looks like the hero in this situation.
Hell no.
Not not
Mm-mm.
not with
They
the way
both
he's
look
ran
like
his mouth for the past decade. He don't look like the hero in this situation at all. Like there is
So
nobody
Mo,
in
you're
this
mad that
situation
this
that has
brother's trying to
clean
do best
hands.
for him. Mo, you're mad because this brother's trying to put himself in the best position to win.
I'm I'm not mad at all. What I'm saying is this idea that Portland has to trade him when he's good and ready for them to trade him. That's not how that works.
exactly.
That's
You're
asinine.
under
That's not
contract,
business.
fam. You're under
So
contract to
so
them.
it's
They'll
okay for
trade
a
you when
team.
they're
So
That's not
ready.
Mo,
business.
what I'm understanding, Mo, it's okay for a team to say, "Oh, I'm not going to trade you. I'm not going to trade you." A week later, they trade you. It's okay for them to do it, but when the player wants to leave, it's a problem.
No,
If he
Freddie,
wanted
if
to
you've been
leave,
watching the way the NBA is
It's
right
a
now,
process.
players leave all the time. You
But
just talked about
and
James
also
Harden.
organization trades
That man has shifted
also
teams multiple times.
organization trades players who players that want to
but the
stay there as well.
That's
organization
the
don't.
that's the nature of the beast in professional
This is the
sports.
nature of the
But
beast
the
as well.
He's
organization
trying
don't
to
have to
force
Right.
his
trade
And,
you
and
hand,
to
that's
and
why
it's
where.
not
Damian Lillard is
working.
still on the Blazers.
But the organization don't have to trade you to where said player wants to go. They can ship you to
No,
That's
wherever the best
hilarious.
deal
I
is.
Exactly.
disagree
So,
with that. I disagree with
so
that
they
100%.
don't have
he
to
was a
trade
free
him to
agent
where
last
said
year.
player wants to go. That's a courtesy. They give
I
that
He
player
could have
out of
left in free
respect.
agency.
Don't sign that
Jory, they
extension,
was the
fam.
only
Don't sign
team
that
to
Don't
give
sign
extension.
the
him the super
extension.
max. They're the only team.
Because he's
Don't
not
sign the.
winning a championship for
You
any
want to
other
get out?
team.
Don't sign the extension.
I disagree with that 100%, you guys. You know, talking about he could leave in free
They don't
agency.
have to
No, you
send him
get the
somewhere where he
bag. You get the
prefers.
bag. We see guys do this all the time.
So
You
I
get
got
your
the
bag.
money, and as soon as I get the money, I want to be traded.
Exactly. You
But
gotta
guess what?
go.
If you get the money from my organization and you want to be traded, and you turn around and go, Mo, only trade me to Miami or don't trade me at all. Dame, we're not
I'm
gonna
not
trade
trading
you
you
at
at
all.
all.
And you're
You
gonna
will
take
Exactly.
grow
the
old.
L.
You will
Exactly.
grow old on the
If you
Portland
don't give
And
train.
me an
guess what? And guess what, Mo?
ultimatum,
And your team
no.
will be losing for the next
Team
10
gonna be
years.
losing regardless.
Hey, Freddie, newsflash, they're losing with him. They're
Yeah,
not
they
winning
losing
titles with
regardless.
him.
But
You ain't winning with
instead,
Tyler
listen,
Hero.
They haven't
listen.
done anything
Hold
with
on.
him.
But you trade him, get assets you can build for the future. You get him out of there. Instead of that, you gonna have
They
a
have
guy.
the assets.
You gonna have a guy that's
What
gonna be hitting
assets
your
for the
cap
future?
where you won't be able to bring nobody else in. So yeah,
What
you the
assets for
one
the
to be
future? Ain't no
stubborn.
picks in that
You the
trade.
one that be arrogant, and you the one that's gonna take the L, not Dame, because you gonna have
Hey,
to trade
Dame,
him eventually.
like you said, Freddie, Dame got his money. So why don't you meet the team halfway and go, you know what? I can go to other destinations. Just find me find me a destination.
Find the
Because guess
best
what?
deal for you
Find
because
me the
that's the
best deal
goal.
and send me away.
That's business. That's business.
Who's to say that he won't get to that other team, stay for a year, and then move on somewhere else?
So we're
Exactly.
okay with all these other guys doing it, but since Dame Dollar
I have an
come
issue
out to
with
say
everybody doing it.
this,
Me
no,
too.
you don't. You clearly just said you did not have a
I
problem
got
with
an
Anthony
issue with
Davis. No,
everybody.
you
I
did
got an
not,
issue with
Jordan.
everybody doing.
No,
I didn't
no.
have a problem with Anthony Davis at the time.
Okay
One,
then,
because I was 16 and had other things to focus on. So there's that.
Jordan, I
So I do
disagree.
have a
Hold
problem
on,
with people doing the
hold
most.
on. Let me respond. I disagree
Let
with
me
that.
finish. Let me finish.
I
We're
disagree
not
with
doing
that.
this. Let me finish. So once you start doing the most and you start putting things out in public and you start making the media speculate and assume everything that's going on, you know you're doing too much and you know you're dead ass wrong. That's my
I
situation. I have a
disagree with
problem
that,
with
Jordan. You know
James
why?
Harden. I have a problem with Damian Lillard. I have a problem with anybody who's
Facts.
just going to try to use the media to force their way out.
You do
That's because that's
realize
what's
these
going on.
players use the
That's
media
my
for
problem.
everything. They use the media for everything. We're in a new era, you guys. This isn't the old
If you're
back in
going
the
to push
80s.
your way out,
This is the 2020 area. Get used to it. With this is this is where we at now. Jory, and I disagree. I believe you at 16 is the same person as today. I'm pretty sure you still
no, I'm
sharp.
not.
I'm
No, I'm
pretty sure
not.
that you had a mind. You had your same mindset. You just trying to use that as an excuse. But
No, I'm not.
I,
No, I'm not.
I
So
really believe that you were still sharp at 16 that you are now.
Here's
I,
the again,
you
but
know,
again,
no, I'm
that's
not.
like taking somebody. That's like taking somebody else's money. Say, I don't want to work for you no more, but I'm gonna take your raise with me. Okay, okay. Where does good business sense lie in that? It don't. It's a
It's
business at
like
the end of the day. It's not about. It
can somebody
facts.
answer this question, please? Can
Facts.
somebody please
Facts
answer
help.
both
this
sides
Facts
are
question?
can
doing
overcome your
crap.
feelings.
Can somebody please?
Both sides are doing it, and I
Can
don't like
somebody
it. I don't like the whole situation
can
on
somebody
both
please
either
answer this
end.
question, please? So teams,
I
GMs, and
just
owners
answered
putting
it.
out bad info out on the players. What they want to leave isn't doing
I
too
just
much.
answered it. I'm not gonna answer it again.
So it's okay if
It is
the
doing too much.
ownership.
That's why this whole
It's
situation
okay.
it has.
It's
There's
okay if
wrong on both.
ownerships.
There's wrong on both sides because if you know
Exactly.
that man wants, if
Nobody
you
has
know
to
that
say
man
that.
wants to leave, don't even bring up a contract extension to him. Look, if you want to leave, I'll trade you now,
All
and
right.
they can extend your contract when you get over there.
This is gonna be the last topic for today. Matter of fact, I love it. I love it when the show get heated. I love it when it get hot because that's my goal. I wake up in the morning when I
You
get
like
on
a
the show.
First Amendment auditor, just pissing everybody
Hey,
off at the post office.
hey, when I get on the show, my goal is to make somebody mad, to get them under their
Well, I ain't
skin,
mad.
to get them worked up, and I think I got Joey worked up.
You be all right. You gonna be all right, Jerry. You gonna be all right.
So
Look at me too.
So let's go to Houston. let's talk about um, let's
Oh,
talk about
Mr.
Kevin
Porter
Porter
Jr.
Jr. Let's talk about it.
why we
Houston
talk about
Rockets
him for?
guard Kevin Porter Jr. alleged attack on his girlfriend in a New York City hotel room left the woman with a fractured neck vertebrae and deep cut above her right eye.
He done.
Prosecutors revealed at his
He done. Done.
arraignment Tuesday. I'm gonna say this:
He done. Done.
if you're innocent, brother, I pray
He's
and I
not.
hope. Well, we don't know all the facts. I pray and hope that everything's come out correct and it cleans your hands. I'm gonna put that out there because you're innocent to proven guilty. So we gotta, we seen situations. We've seen situations like this
I.e.
before.
Jonathan Majors.
But if you're guilty, if you're guilty, you deserve to go to jail. You deserve to be out the league. You are a this is a disgracement. You should not be represented by the NBA. That's the weakest move that you can make. Putting your hands on a woman, go put your hands on a man. I don't care what the situation is, what the argument is, but there should never be an option where a man put his hands on a woman. I don't care what the argument is.
Uh,
I don't care.
I do want to go back and change that statement. Nobody has a right to put their hands on anybody. Male, female, white, black, green, yellow, purple. No one has a right to put their hands on anybody. And and if he did, and hey, we gotta wait. You're right. We have to wait to see. We get the full story. But if he does turn out to be guilty, he done. He need to be under the jail. Because you don't have that right. Not at all. He needs if this is true, and I hope it's not, but if it's true, he deserves to be under the jail and not the league.
But he could have killed her.
Yeah. Yeah.
He broke her neck.
If this is
Her,
true, he needs to be done. He needs to be done.
And look,
mhm.
I want to go a step further. This isn't just in the NBA, it's in the NFL, it's in
Mm-hmm.
Major League Baseball, it's in boxing, it is throughout sports, it's throughout society. If the reports are true, guys like him, Kevin Porter, guys like him, they shouldn't just be in sports, they should be locked away and away from society.
Yep, yep.
Period. I don't think you have the right to put your hands on nobody, cut and dry. And any coward that wants to beat down on a woman, chase her, pursue her, and injure her in that way, any woman, any person for that matter, you don't belong in sports and you don't belong in society. It's just
Nope.
that cut and dry for me.
Nope. Not
And
at all.
what
I
makes it
agree.
what makes it worse is that you have a characteristic, you have a reputation in the
Of
NBA
being a hothead.
of being a hothead, of being arrogant. So that don't help your case as well. But like I said, any man, any person put their hands on anybody, especially a man put a hand on a woman, that's uncalled for. And he need to be dealt with. Adam Silver need to, if this is true, Adam Silver need to make it right. Need to take him out the league. Need to make sure that the league's not assisting him in any kind of way,
Oop.
or anything. This brother need to go to jail, and once he get out of jail, he still need to go get help. He need to get help while he's in there, because he clearly have a problem. He clearly has a problem.
And I,
All I would say is though, my concern is not just his case. This is kind of an epidemic that's running rampant throughout sports, right? I mean, the Tyreek Hill situation that got kind of swept under the rug.
mm-hmm.
But if you read that report, Tyreek Hill's got some problems.
Joe Rogan.
He
Joe
got some
Rogan as
problems. Yeah,
well.
right, right. There is no shortage of
Mm-hmm.
guys who have problems that I don't understand how the leagues find a way to just give them a tap on the wrist. Look, you can be a great talent. I get that, but your talent should not excuse your behavior.
Right.
And not only
My
do he
biggest
need
question
help,
is why do these things keep getting swept under the rug?
because if
It
they
should
bring
be.
Like,
money,
why?
they bring money to him. That's why.
At
Um,
some point, money gotta it gotta be money over it gotta be morals over money. Because these companies, if that was your mama, if that was your sister, if that was your daughter, your niece, or whatever, you'd be reacting a completely different way. Half of these people who try to sweep these things under the rug, if it was their people, they'd be running to go get a gun or something. And that's just me speaking of fact. So at some point as a society and in the sports world, regardless if it's a woman, man, because there's a whole lot of stuff that's been going on lately with these athletes and other people that we need to address as a whole, because it's ridiculous. But it has to be morals over money at some point.
And like I said, nobody has the right to put their hands on anybody. I don't care, man, woman versus man, man versus woman. Nobody has a right to put their hands on you at all.
And I'm going to say this: not only do he need help, she's going to need help as well.
Yep.
So the NBA, if this is true, need to go out and find ways to get her help, counseling, because she's going to be affected by this. Loved ones around her, family around her is
Mm-hmm.
going to be affected by this as well. So they need to do their due diligence and make sure that she's getting the help. And I'm not even talking about money wise. I'm talking about just counseling, just
Yeah.
helping
Yeah.
her peace of mind. Just
Yep.
need help with that.
You right.
Because there's a lot of situations, you guys, where this can hold on to people's life and affect them in a different way. We never know what's going on in a person's mental. We don't know, how strong that person is. And I'm gonna say this, and I know this is a touchy subject. I know what I'm about to say might be controversial and might be this, but I don't care. Um, if she's lying, and I'll say this about any time, any case. It's not just this one. So if she is lying, because there's been athletes where you know people have lied, like Deshaun Watson. I'm pretty sure he did what they accused him of doing, but I'm pretty sure there's some women that lied about it as well. I just hard to believe that all those women did what he said that they said he did. Um, but if they're lying, if she's lying, she needs to do some time as well. She needs to go to jail as well. She needs to pay for it as well, because not only is he had to suffer because if he did it, but if he's innocent, she needs to suffer because you hurt a person's reputation, you hurt a person's money. You hurt that dude's name if they're lying. I'm not saying it is because we don't know the facts until we see the facts. I'm just saying if it's not true.
And that's a whole show in itself because right now, when a woman lies, there's really no accountability for that woman lying. So we have to wait and judge the facts and see just what happened. And then once we have all the facts, then we can pass. Then we can talk about it and say and talk about it more. Not so much past judgment, but see if we
Yeah.
agree with the outcome.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Kevin Porter Jr. did do it. I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I'm just saying because we don't know the 100% of the facts. That's why they got. That's why they have the law system. We let them get in that business. I'm just speaking of if it is and if it's not.
Now that lady that got hit with that brick the couple weeks ago, up here talking about it's a hoax now. Come on now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. And
I
then
ain't got no damn.
and then the reason why. And then the reason why these players can get away with it is because just think about it. These guys making millions of dollars. They feel entitled. Uh, they feel like they're over anybody else. They can do what they want to do. But and then these leagues have empowered them to feel that way as well.
I,
Society has empowered them to feel that way as well. I mean, just think about it. Growing up, just think about it. Will and Mo, you guys can talk about it more because y'all older. But just think about it. Growing up, you hear kids talking about they have role models. You used to hear there's fathers, uncles, grandfathers, and stuff like firemen, policemen. You don't hear that anymore. You hear, oh, LeBron James my role model, Steph Curry's my role model. These players, athletes are my role model. You just don't hear this. So these players have more of a empowerment nowadays than they ever have in their life. And you guys can speak on that more than I can. I'm younger, but that's just my thought process.
I would say that I'll say this: if Kevin Porter Jr. is a punk right now, the kind of person that would put his hands on somebody, my guess is he was that when he was playing high school basketball. He was that when he was playing college basketball. I don't think that just happened, and that might be a bigger issue in sports. A lot of these gifted, talented players, you find out these things about them down the road. That was already there. That was already part of who they were. So I would say that these teams, these coaches, these franchises, these universities, they need to do a better job of actually getting to know this person before you commit to them. Give yourself a better idea of who they are. Because I actually think that if more franchises, if more universities did that, you wouldn't see as many of these guys in sports. You'd prevent a lot of things. These guys get entitled, like you said, Freddie. This guy just signed a $64 million deal. He just signed it. And I don't know if this happened or not. I'm going off of the reports. And if the reports are true, he does not belong in sports. But I don't think he's the only one. I think you can go in every sport and find multiple guys that have multiple infractions like that against them. And that's the problem I have. I feel like the leagues as a whole have failed, have failed the leagues, have failed society, have failed those victims. And I just think there's got to be a better way to address this than sweep it under the rug and go, well, they decided to settle out of court, or the default always is they settle, right? And for somebody to settle, what does that really mean? They got to that person and said, "Look, we can get you some money. Maybe something went wrong. It's a misunderstanding," and that player gets to remain in the league or remain in their preferred sport. I just have a problem with money being able to make things go away.
The Brandon Miller situation is different. That's not, he didn't. That wasn't his gun. That was Darius Miles' gun. There, you see Darius Miles in jail. So Brandon Miller only drove car knowing that gun was in it. So that's a different situation. Now, my piece, and you might want to just I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it now. If because I would think that to say if she's lying in the freshness of this situation is kind of inappropriate because of like the video, like we see, like the injuries. She didn't break her own neck. Somebody did it to her. She didn't. She didn't do all of that. She didn't do all of that to herself. Somebody did it to her. So to say that if she's lying, it's a little touchy. But I understand the point. I get the point. But the whole like the thing with the Deshaun Watson, I don't think 11 games was enough. Personally, I was on the side of 11 games was enough. But when it comes to these type of situations, certain things you don't need to be put back into a league for. There should be no negotiables. If you do certain things, you're gone for good, and that's why we have these behaviors that are being exposed, and they've been happening. And it's because to me, you get you get suspended and then you get to come back. No, if you're accused of sexual assault, if you're accused of domestic violence, and we know that you did it, you're done. Period.
I agree
That'll
to.
stop enabling. That'll stop. That it won't stop the monsters from getting into the league. It'll. I think they'll try to like it'll curb some of the behavior
Maybe it'll
at least a
deter
little bit.
some of
But
them.
like
Yeah, yeah,
it'll be a deterrent.
yeah,
It'll be a deterrent. It'll make you think twice.
yeah. True that.
If I get caught doing something once and I'm done for real, it'll make me think about it doing twice.
I
These
agree
whole
to.
suspensions and then you get to come back, it's like this. It does nothing. And then you still have these exact same situations occurring rampant throughout these leagues. It's
I
not
agree.
these type of things like the assault and all this other stuff. Now with Tyreek Hill, I don't like he has a history of putting his hands on people. So what no. I
So,
mean,
so I agree to a point, Jory. We have to make sure just because somebody get accused, I'm not suspending you. I need to know the evidence. I need to know the facts. I really
Yeah,
do.
once
And,
you know all of that, and then if everything is conducive, and we know that you did it, you're done for real. There is no suspension, and then you come back. And with certain things, you're not gonna find a lot of evidence in the court of law with certain things. I know I've been there.
and then speaking
So
on the first point that you brought up about it's a little touchy about no, it's not touchy. I mean, there's been evidence, there's been situations, and I'm not saying this situation, so I'm not saying that at all. But there's situations where people have posted pictures, videos of their face and it don't be true. All I'm saying is, if she's lying, I don't know if she's lying or telling the truth at all. I don't know. I don't know that there's not enough evidence that's been put out there. I'm not a part of the legal system. What I'm saying is, if it is not true, she deserves to do time as well because she has hurt this man's reputation, hurt this man's name, hurt this man's revenue, and everything else. But if she is telling the truth, he deserves to be out the league for good, and he deserves to be in jail. He deserved to be under the jail. That's my position on it.
My
So, and
position
having
is it may
go ahead,
be,
Will.
and Jury, you're right. Somebody did do that to her. The thing we need to determine if it was him. If it wasn't him, then we need to get to find out who it was, so the appropriate person can be punished. Now, if it was Kevin Porter Jr., fine, put him under the jail, take him out the league. But if it wasn't him, then we need to make sure that we punish the appropriate person. That's all we're saying.
In having this
Uh,
conversation, I hope that we are not offending actual real victims because there are real victims
Yes.
out there. So, in having this conversation, if you are listening, if you know someone who's gone through something of this nature, in no way do we mean to offend victims. Yes, there are people who have misled police, there have people who have lied, but one of the reasons why victims don't come forward is because they get attacked and be made out to be liars when they're not liars. And that's not something we're trying to do here at Sports Empire Network. We're just having a conversation.
Yes.
If the reports are true, then this young man should get punished to the full extent of the law.
yep. And also, there's a whole other level to this as well. And it's not taking up for the players at all. But we also, this comes with the territory. We have to remember this as well. They play a game, a physical game. It's taxing on their body. It's taxing mentally. It's a violent game. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not condoning it. I'm not doing none of that. But I'm just saying that it comes with the territory. This has always been a thing. Maybe the leagues can place some type of mental help, some type of counseling to kind of get the guys the proper help that they need. That way, you know, these things don't come up or anything like that. But we also have to remember the type of game that they play and stuff like that. That's a part that adds on to it as well.
Yes.
Um, but man, I tell you one day, I might need to come on here every morning if I can get it heated like this. I got Mo heated. I went at Mo. I had Jury going a couple of times. I had the little vein on her afro going a little bit. I could see it, even though she tried to cover it up a little bit. Because I didn't go too hard on her Tennessee Titans today. But um, but Will. I always, Will don't say I get him going, but I do. You can see Will. He's soft spoken. He's soft spoken, but
He is very soft spoken.
I know how I get Will going. When Will get to going, he get to going, brother. But man, I love doing the show with y'all. I really do. Love that I could do it with y'all this morning. Did you guys have any final words that you guys want to say before we head out?
Nope.
Thanks to everybody that's in the chat. Thanks for listening. Smash that like button, share us, and check out all the great content that we offer you guys on Sports Empire Network. Appreciate you.
Yep. Speaking of great content, tonight we had the Wire to Wire podcast with Gene and the crew, and we have the 2 Men in Hockey with
Yeah.
Powell and Evan. So a lot of great content coming. Jory.
I said what Mo said.
All
Yes,
right.
what Mo said. Yes.
I was
Like,
There you go.
comment, subscribe. Sports Empire Network.
Hey y'all, tomorrow morning, who knows? I might pop up again. You never know. I might pop. I text Chris last night. I say, man, I want to be the Shannon Sharp tomorrow morning. Are you cool with that? But I was expecting Chris to be on. I guess he kind of misunderstood what I meant. I didn't
Right.
want to take over the show. I just want to be Shannon Sharp. I want to be Mo be Stephen A. Chris be whoever else on First Take, and I'll be Shannon Sharp, and we have RC and Will, and we have one of the beautiful ladies, Jory, on ESPN. I wanted to be held the whole cast, but I guess he misunderstood what I meant by that. But I don't know. I'll probably pop up tomorrow morning and bless the screen again because Chris and Mo do a good job, but they don't be getting under nobody's skin. I got to come in here and do that for y'all. So. But other than that, y'all, we want to thank y'all for coming on. We want to thank y'all for watching this. Make sure you follow, like, share this content out. We really appreciate it. We can't do without y'all. Coffee and Sports Morning Show tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central. We're out of here, y'all.
What are we talking about?
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm for you!